All right, welcome back to Life Fit with DVD. Thanks for being here. Today, I wanted to follow up on the back of the previous video about self-differentiation and why you may lack it, and some things that you can do to get back yourself. And today, I wanted to go into a tool that I have used in the past that has helped immensely for self-differentiation, and some signs that you could use it, as well as why it is great, and that is human design. So human design has been around a while. Ultimately, it goes very deep. Without getting into too much of the history of it, it's a blend of, or a synthesis of, ancient systems, astrology, the I Ching, the Kabbalah, the chakras, quantum physics, genetics, and all of this is calculated from your birth time, date, and where you were born. This isn't a horoscope, right? It's really your unique operating manual to who you are that is very differentiated. Human design, the science of it, it's literally called the science of self-differentiation. So, if you want to blend these things, I think this is the perfect tool. Between, if you're looking to know yourself, your strengths, your weaknesses, everything, every aspect about you, to be aware of, your biases, just your preferences. There's so many aspects to it that it's your playbook. It's literally the cards that you have been dealt in this life, as well as your nature and your nurture. And ultimately, when you become aware of these things, it helps to understand how you can execute, how you know yourself, and what you can do to change yourself, right? Being aware of these things, the strengths, the weaknesses, right? You can overcome them, and ultimately it's a choice, right? We have these things, we have the cards that were dealt, but ultimately it comes back to, what do you want, right? What is the identity that you want to create for yourself? So ultimately, human design to me is the ultimate tool in that aspect. There's other tools like, the Big Five, Myers-Briggs, which I've studied in the past. Just absolutely fascinating. And I can work in that realm as well if anybody wants to hear more about that. But ultimately, human design to me is really the ultimate playbook, not just for yourself, but understanding others as well. So, with this in mind, right, this is your operating manual, and it shows your unique aura, your unique energy, its configuration, and how you're designed to make decisions, how you're designed to interact with others, and how to do all of this with what is your energy versus what is everybody else's energy. What is your condition versus your conditioning? And ultimately, it's such an amazing tool to really delve deep into it, because it really does go deep. I mean, I've seen a lot of videos out there. They're very high level videos on the aspects of it, and that's great, right? It's really nice to put these aspects into a nice YouTube Shorts or TikTok video of like, oh, it's this simple, right? But it's not. It's not. It is, but it also isn't. There's a lot to it, and there's a lot to dissect. But ultimately, it's what do you use it for? If you find use to it, then and if you find use in deciphering it and really getting deep into it, awesome. But if you feel like it doesn't represent you, or maybe it just doesn't resonate with you. Well, it might not resonate with you right now, but later down the line, later in your life, maybe some of these aspects that you don't feel so associated with will maybe feel a little bit representative of you later. So it's a tool, right? It's not the be all end all. It's not something that you're supposed to ultimately embody to the full degree, because if there's a more negative sounding trait that ultimately you don't resonate with, then you don't have to. You don't have to. Ultimately, it's what works for you, and being aware of the strengths, the weaknesses, the biases, the energy, the patterns, the aura, the decision making, and dissecting and differentiating, the nature from the nurture in you. So ultimately, when you get into this, like, let's get into the top 10 reasons why it is the ultimate self-differentiation tool. So first, it reveals your decision-making authority. So, if you're constantly second-guessing yourself or asking others what you should do, dig into this, right? Your human design, your authority in human design can be sacral, can be solar plexus, splenic. This tells you how you are designed to make decisions. A sacral type is meant to wait for that gut feeling of or mm-mm. It's going to be a guttural sound. It's going to be something where your body might be moving into motion a specific way before your brain has even made the decision. But this will ultimately, and this is just one type, this will stop you from outsourcing your choices to other people. So 2, it defines your energetic boundaries. So your type. So the sign, right? If you're feeling drained, resentful, or you feel like you're hustling for everything, right? The fix is your type can be a generator, can be a manifester, projector, a reflector, or a manifesting generator. So technically 5 types. And I realize I can show this, so maybe I'll do that in a future video if anybody is interested. But I'm just going over this from a high level point of view at this point, to just address some of the aspects and why it's just an amazing tool. So 3, it maps your conditioning, your not self. So if you have a constant low-grade anxiety or frustration about your life, right, that's the not self, or an aspect of the not self. It can be bitterness and a projector. I forget exactly what that looks like in a reflector, because that's a more rare sort of situation. But ultimately, like, when you feel that frustration, that resentment, that bitterness, that's the not self speaking. So human design pinpoints exactly where you are most vulnerable to absorbing others' energy and beliefs. And these centers that are open centers, as they're called, have their not self themes. So, right, this is frustration, bitterness, anger, disappointment, and it's the alarm bell telling you that something is off on your path. So 4, right, it validates your natural strengths, your defined centers. So the sign that you might struggle with this, you undervalue your innate talents, or you don't know what they are because they come so easily to you. This has certainly been an area that has helped me to help show me what my innate talents are, what your purpose is. Now, your defined centers can show you where you are consistent, reliable, energetically powerful, and it gives you the permission to own your own strengths unapologetically, because it's literally your energy. You can see it in the chart. It's always you. It always has been you. And once again, you just might not value it, or you come from a conditioning that has not valued it. So ultimately, right, this will show you, right, that other people do not have these channels, but you do. This is a consistent energy for you. And once you're aware of that, you can then hone into those strengths that you have and really start to showcase them. So, 5, it shows your growth path. So these are the open centers. So if you find yourself being a people pleaser or obsessed with, things that you lack, right? This could be a sign of, an open solar plexus or an open ego center. But these centers, these open centers, are not your weaknesses, right? They are the centers of your experience and the wisdom that you have gained in this life through your own experience. They show you where you learn and where you are designed to be influenced by others, but consciously, not helplessly, right? This is why it's so important to be aware of, because there's also multiple aspects to this where you have conscious aspects as well as unconscious aspects. So these are the ways that you see yourself versus the way you see others, the way others see you. And ultimately, right, being aware of these differences in yourself can be a major upgrade to be like, yeah, if this person is perceiving me this way, right, is that how I want to be perceived? And if they are perceiving me that way, that's fine. That's how others are meant to perceive me. But that doesn't mean that is who you are, right? So this is just such a huge differentiation area that has really been a breakthrough for me in my life. 6, it decodes your life purpose, right? So the sign, you feel a sense of aimlessness or a question of what am I really here for, right? What is my purpose here? What am I doing in this reality, right? Nothing makes sense. You feel like you don't know what you're doing here. And ultimately, you have an incarnation cross in human design. And this gives you a theme. It gives you an overview of what your life's purpose may look like. Now, it's not a job title. It's not something to get, completely identified with that, if it feels negative to you, that, that it's the be-all, end-all. But ultimately, it is the theme, right? It's a unique flavor of what you bring to the world and when you are being yourself. So the Incarnation Cross, I think there's 192 of them, maybe 188. But, I have an Incarnation Cross of one type. My brother, because our birthdays are all together, my brother has another of the same, and same with my nephew. And ultimately, it's all the same Incarnation Crosses, but they all look very differently at this point in our lives. And that's just one high level aspect to it all that, when it comes down to it, we might have the same, sun, earth, consciously and unconscious sun, earth, but the way the aspects play out, the lines play out. There's lines 1 through 6, which is just the specific flavor of that, sun, earth, that gate. And those play out very differently as well. And, ultimately, even though it's the same Incarnation Cross, we have very different charts overall. So a lot of depth to this. I know it doesn't help to have any sort of visualization right now. So I'll probably go through this further at some point. So 7, it upgrades your communication. So if you feel misunderstood or struggle to get your ideas across, the fix, right? Your profile. So this is, there's 12 different types of them, I believe. 1, 3, 2, 4, 6, 2, right? These describe your role and how you're meant to interact. What is your role in the world? Are you an investigator martyr, or are you a hermit opportunist? These have a variety of different classifications and names depending on kind of the subsystem that you're looking at. But this can help reframe your social strategy. And I think one of the biggest things for me that has been impactful in understanding this is that the lower the line, the 1s through 3, these are more introverted lines. The more extroverted lines are the 4 through 6. And extroversion and introversion, right? They go on a spectrum. So if you have more 1 traits, right, and this can be just in your sun earth or all the aspects, right, the more introverted you're more likely going to be in this world. And that's not a bad thing. It's not a good thing. It just is a thing, right? It's a thing that you can take. It doesn't mean you can't, if you have a lot of 1s, doesn't mean you can't be extroverted, but if you want to be more extroverted, maybe there's an aspect of yourself that you can focus on, like channeling that more extroverted energy to be what you want in the world. 8, it clarifies your environment. So there's certain places that drain you. That's true for everybody. While others feel magically supportive, in human design, there's specific ideal environments for you. Caves, markets, kitchens, mountains, valleys. Forget the last one off the top of my head. But this isn't, woo stuff in the sky. It's about positioning your body in the best environment that is right for you to receive the right opportunities. And you will feel more relaxed in this best fit environment for you. It's going to be where you make the best decisions, where you can think and feel the best. And just being aware of that aspect is going to have a huge impact on just how you see the world, the decisions that you make, where you go, and trying to find the best opportunities for you. So 9, this provides a framework. It's not a cage. I mean, if you fear another system will just put you into a new category, a new box, right? This is unlike rigid tests. It's a dynamic experiment. Ultimately, you have your design, others have theirs. They're going to manifest radically different ways. And then, at the same time, right, people might see very similar or seem very similar, but when you look at their designs, they're actually very, very different. And when you actually dig deeper and ask about the questions of why they do these things, why did you make these decisions, you might find they make these decisions for radically different reasons. So this is a test it for yourself moment. It's a map. It's just a map. It's a playbook that you are the one who drives the car in all of this, right? And this just encourages greater sovereignty, greater independence in your life to be yourself. And ultimately, 10, right? It turns your flaws into design features. So you might judge parts of yourself. You might hold certain aspects of yourself, in a very negative regard, that you might feel broken, wrong. You might have been told that, something's wrong with him. Right? No, right? That stubbornness is your defined roots consistent pressure, or that indecisiveness is your emotional authority needing to experience the emotional wave and wait for some clarity after the emotional wave passes. Human design reframes your so-called flaws into precise mechanics of your design. So these are just 10 reasons why human design is such an amazing tool. You can go somewhere like mybodygraph.com to just input your birth details and go through the process. check out a chart, your chart for yourself. I use genetic matrix at this point. I find it very deep, in depth, and it's great. And focus on just two things I said here, right? You can just ignore the complexity and simply look at your type and authority, or strategy and authority, because that is your foundation for making the best decisions. And just try it for 1 week. Just have it at the forefront of your mind, and make some of your more trivial decisions through that authority function. Whether it's sacral, what is moving you, what is pulling your body in a specific direction. Is your body, when somebody asks you something, are you going the mm-hmm, or mm-mm? It's a guttural feeling. It's literally your sacral. It's in your gut. And then just see how you feel, right? If you're experiencing your not self theme, as a generator, that'll be frustration. If you're feeling frustrated with the world, right, something is off. Something is off with, decisions, or the environment you're in, or the way that you're operating. And ultimately, just observe these things, right? Once again, it's an experiment. So, your design is waiting, right? It's out there. Have a look. If you want me to go more in depth with this human design in general, I'd be happy to. Just let me know in the comments. If you have questions about your own chart, let me know. I'd be happy to help. Otherwise, thanks for watching, and like and subscribe if you enjoyed it. That'd be great. And until next time, I'll talk to you later. Thanks.